What is your opinion of the Singapore Red Cross Academy?
The Singapore Red Cross Academy is a key institution in promoting humanitarian work by offering essential training such as in first aid, emergency response, and disaster relief. They have played a critical role in building resilience within Singapore while also supporting international humanitarian efforts, such as when there's natural disaster in neighboring countries. In addition, Singapore is known for providing aid overseas through the Red Cross, which contributes to global disaster relief, medical missions, and community development projects, thus help to showcase its importance and also their commitment to international solidarity.
What are your thoughts on climate change?
Climate change is one of the most pressing challenges that this century of humanity faces, as it had far-reaching consequences, for example, rising temperatures and sea levels, to extreme weather events, which we have seen in the recent days, for the prolonged rainy seasons than expected, and to also biodiversity loss in many of the countries. It's not just an environmental issue, but also potentially evolving into a social, economical, and political one. Therefore, immediate and decisive action is required to reduce greenhouse gas emission by the transition to renewable energy sources and also adapting to inevitable changes in our ecosystem. As climate change can disproportionately affect vulnerable communities, and thus it's crucial for us to work together to address this crisis.
What are your thoughts on heat stress?
Heat stress is a significant health risk, especially with rising temperatures due to climate change. It's a significant health risk because it can cause heat exhaustion or other health conditions. And vulnerable populations such as elderly, young children, and people with pre-existing health conditions are particularly at high risk. In areas experiencing extreme heat, particularly in the Singapore region, for example, it's important to create and promote awareness on heat stress and also to educate people on the side of heat stress to reduce fatalities. And urban planning and other access to green space can help to mitigate the impact.
How does climate change affect you and your community?
Climate change has already affected us and our community, particularly in Singapore, as we have seen in the previous weeks and months. For many communities, climate change is already leading to more extreme weather patterns such as floods and also uneven rainy seasons that disrupt our daily life. For example, for the past few weeks, we have seen prolonged rainy seasons and also high flood risk in many of the urban areas. And because of this, I think as Singapore is a coastal country, we are also at risk of flooding due to rising sea levels, and also we are affected by changing rainfall patterns. Therefore, climate change brings greater inequalities as it may, for those, particularly in those areas, they may lack the resources to adapt. And therefore, it's important for us to prepare for this impact to ensure resilience in the community.
How does heat stress affect you and your community?
For a country like Singapore, we receive high temperatures throughout the year, and heat stress can cause many health issues such as heat exhaustion and heat stroke from dehydration, leading to serious health issues. And vulnerable groups, particularly elderly children or those with health conditions, are most at risk. And in communities, such heat stress put pressure on our healthcare system and resources like water and cooling management, which can help increase illnesses and strain emergency services, especially for people working and the vulnerable groups such as elderly and children. Therefore, in this way, it affects both individual health and community resources.
In your opinion, what are some methods to raise awareness and engagement with climate resilience?
In my opinion, there are several methods to raise awareness and engagement with climate resilience. For example, mainly through government efforts, through climate action campaigns by promoting campaigns that encourage sustainable behaviors like reducing waste and also using renewable energies and adopting green technologies within various sectors of our economy. Secondly, is through community-driven education by using local events, workshop or social media platform to engage communities in climate discussion and also focusing on the specific areas that Singapore faces in regard to having a greater climate resilience. And lastly is also our youth involvement by empowering young people to become leaders in climate resilience through education and also involving them in decision making and promoting eco-friendly behaviors.
In your opinion, what are some ways to raise awareness and engagement with heat adaptation solutions?
There are many ways to raise awareness and engage with heat adaptation solutions, mainly through public health campaign. I think it's important to educate the public on recognizing heat stress symptoms and also the importance of staying hydrated and avoid outdoor activities during peak heat hours. Secondly, is the most important is also workplace safety regulations. I think it's important for the government and also for various job sectors to promote workplace safety laws for outdoor workers and also to encourage companies to provide heat relief options like water stations or cooling breaks. And lastly is I think we can leverage on technology to promote and raise awareness on heat adaptation solutions by utilizing, for example, social media or public alerts to provide real-time heat advisories and also the heat stress tips.